What's up, guys? It is Sunday already. It's like the 22nd of January, which means it's a Sunday, which means it's your tech news roundup. First up, ASUS announced that they're planning on taking over from the Raspberry Pi as they announced their new Tinkerboard. The Tinkerboard is essentially a Raspberry Pi, just more powerful, featuring a Rockchip RK3288, which is clocked at the same 1.2 GHz as the processor on Raspberry Pi 3. However, according to ASUS's internal testing, it got roughly double the score on benchmarks, meaning it could be an interesting contender, as well as having like 2 GB of RAM and a slightly better video codec, being able to decode at H.264, and then things like better, like, it's just better in most ways. For example, the Ethernet port is 1 gigabit, meaning you can get some real serious data through it. And all this power means that you can also manage 24-bit 192K audio, meaning it's just higher fidelity and it's just better than a Raspberry Pi in every single way, apart from cost, as it costs £55, which, if you're buying one of these and you're looking for something that's roughly twice as powerful as the Raspberry Pi 3, £55 is actually relatively reasonable. And much like the Raspberry Pi, it doesn't come with any onboard storage. However, you just add a micro SD card and you're good to go. And it's going to be interesting, to say the least. The Raspberry Pi 3 is definitely on the border of whether or not it can run full Windows, meaning that this should theoretically be able to run Windows like a normal PC, and it's £55 for Christ's sake. Like, this is ridiculous. However, we'll have to wait and see how popular it is. Personally, I think it has potential, but we have to see. Elsewhere, King's College London have confessed that, like many universities in the UK, they've been tracking and sort of looking through the emails of both staff and students, which, though not inherently bad, it still sits funny with me. This is part of a counter-extremist strategy called Prevent, which looks to prevent people from converting into extremism, but there's just a line, and I feel like tracking everyone's emails is just a bit too far, but let's get further into it. A notice on the portal as you log in claims that your emails can be monitored and recorded as part of the government's anti-extremism campaign, Prevent. However, is it not just going a bit too far? Members of the Students' Union have claimed it's a violation of trust, and it's true, like, these people have done absolutely nothing for people to suspect they've done something wrong, but imagine if someone was going through all of your emails. It's not a matter of, if you haven't done anything bad, you have nothing to hide. It's a matter of basic privacy. The president of the National Union of Students, Malia Buati, I think that's it, said that this is yet another example of how the Prevent agenda turns our educational institutions against their own students, perpetuates a culture of fear, restricts academic freedoms, and normalizes Islamophobia. In my opinion, governments are just really inefficient when it comes to trying to stop terrorism through big data. There's just so much data that they already have to crunch through that it's like they have too much as opposed to not having enough. They keep claiming they need more and more data for your safety, but I'm not sure they do. A good example of this is the Snoopers Charter, which, I mean, yeah, you can make a case for it, but realistically, you don't need the information of everything that anyone has ever browsed on the internet in the last year, or else there are going to be all these terrorists and we're all going to die. But, you know, if you do want your emails to be private though, there is good news, as Lavabit, Edward Snowden's email client of choice, recently opened its doors back up. If you know who Lavabit are, you probably also know that in 2013 they had to close their doors because they refused to hand over SSL certificates to the government in the US, as they were looking into how Edward Snowden sort of got all the information that he leaked and all this magical stuff, and they were told either cough up these certificates or shut down, and they opted to shut down. A gag order meant they weren't able to confirm this until 2016, however, today they came up with a solution which means that they don't have the certificates in the first place. Lavabit has 3 unique modes: trustful, cautious, and paranoid, and let's have a quick run through of what each one means. Trustful is pretty much like your current email system, where, you know, it's all encrypted, but your keys are on the server, and anyone can you can connect to it from any device, and you're free to use it like you would a standard email, but it's also the most insecure. Cautious is the next level up, where the servers themselves have no idea what the information is, as all the keys, all the private keys at least, are kept on the computer itself, or the phone if you're using your phone, and that means that although the information is being stored on the server, there is no way of accessing it from within the server. However, what will happen is when you connect a new device, for example, you have your computer and then you connect your phone, that private key is stored to some extent on the server so that it can be like, it's basically like, if you imagine that it's copied like from your computer to your phone but through the server, so there is a point where it exists on this server. And finally there is paranoid mode. Paranoid means that the keys are nowhere near the server at any point whatsoever. You only have one key, which means that you can only be logged on one device at a time, and this is for the utmost of security, hence it's called paranoid. It means that if you lose your device, you will never be able to connect to your email ever again, which means you have to be extremely careful and isn't for most people. It's a shame that anyone using Lavabit will probably be put on a government watch list as highly suspicious as they use encrypted emails. But you know what? It's something that it's a measure of privacy, and if you want that privacy, or maybe you even need that privacy, right? You're Mark Zuckerberg, for example, and it's not that you have embarrassing emails, you have emails that you don't want your competitors seeing, internal plans and things that you just don't want people to know. Lavabit is currently only available to those who previously had an account. They probably won't get their emails over, however you are able to log in over the course of the next coming days and you'll have access to it. If you want to become a member, however, it's actually currently half price if you pre-order it, although you won't get an account straight away. It's $15 annually for a standard and $30 annually for a premier account. That's if you pay right now when it's half price. The difference between the two is the amount of storage space you get, where standard gets 5 GB and premier gets 20 GB. But other than that, if you want to find out more, just head over to lavabit.com, link in the description to find out more. It's genuinely interesting if it's the kind of thing you need. However, if you like this video, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure why you're still here. However, you can click up here for the previous video and here for a video that YouTube recommends. YouTube think you're going to really like that one. Trust me, you should click it. Hit subscribe or click here to see more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.